Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Our Take, a podcast you can trust. I'm your host, LukeMan97, and the topic of discussion today is going to be tillage. So, the definition of tillage is the agricultural preparation of soil by mechanical agitation. So, basically, what that means is, in essence, plowing. So, basically, after the farmers harvest their fields in the fall, not only the soil is kind of hard and packed down, but also there's a lot of trash, like dead leaves, dead stalks, just trash that the combine spits out after the harvest. So basically, tillage is when they bring in a plow or a reel disc, which a reel disc has like different harrows and rolling baskets and stuff for breaking up the soil. But they bring that in and they break up the soil. So we're going to be talking about the what kinds of tillage there are, first of all. So basically, there's a couple different types of tillage. There's primary and secondary tillage, which is conducted after the last harvest, like I was talking about. The soil is wet enough to allow plowing, but also allows good traction. The objective of primary tillage is to attain a reasonable depth of soft soil. So basically just kill weeds, incorporate crop residues, and aerate the soil. Secondary tillage is a subsequent tillage to incorporate fertilizers. So it just injects fertilizers into the soil, basically. Reduced tillage leaves between 15 and 30% crop residue. So basically, they still leave some of the chaff and stuff from last year's harvest there. So they might use different kinds of things that don't do as much. Intensive tillage leaves less than 15% crop residue. So basically, it's basically conventional tillage, so they plow it all up. So basically most of the residue is gone. Conservation tillage leaves a lot more crop residue, and there's a couple different ways I think of doing this. There's no tilling at all, which is you don't till at all, so basically just leaves all the chaff and stuff. And I think the farmers that do no-till, what they do is they have like a special kind of planter that has like these things called trash whippers, that when they're planting, the trash whipper wheels will whip the trash out of the way so that there's an open trough for the seed to go into. Strip till is where narrow strips are tilled, but the soil between the rows is untilled. Mulch till is where the soil is covered with mulch. Rotational tillage is tilling the soil every 2 years or less often. And then there's ridge till. But now let's discuss the positive and negative effects of this. So some of the positive effects is it loosens and aerates the top layer of the soil, which facilitates planting the crop, or it helps mix harvest residue, organic matter, and nutrients evenly into the soil. It mechanically destroys weeds without the need of pesticides. It dries the soil before seeding. In wetter climates, tillage aids in keeping the soil drier, like it breaks up that clay so that it doesn't stick together and hold all the water in. When done in autumn, it helps us exposed soil crumble over winter through frosting and defrosting, which helps prepare a smooth surface for spring planting. It can reduce infestations of slugs, cutworms, army worms, and harmful insects as they are attracted to leftover residues from former crops, and it does that without the need of pesticides or insecticides. It reduces the risk of crop diseases, which can be harbored in surface residues. But here's the negative effects. It dries the soil before seeding, so if you live in a more sandy climate, it can dry it out too much. Soil loses nutrients like nitrogen and fertilizer and its ability to store water. It decreases the water infiltration rate of the soil, results in more runoff and erosion, as the soil absorbs water more slowly than before. Tilling the soil results in dislodging the cohesiveness of the soil particles, thereby inducing erosion. So yeah, tillage can cause erosion. Chemical runoff, it can make happen. It reduces organic matter in the soil, reduces microbes, earthworms, ants, and etc. It destroys soil aggregates, and the compaction of the soil, also known as the tillage pan. Yeah, so it kind of compacts the soil a little bit, but it also breaks it up at the same time. I know that's kind of confusing, and there's also nutrient runoff into a body of water can happen. So what do I think about tilling? I think that it depends, I think, what kind of soil you have in your field. If you have more the clay-like soil, it might work better for you because, you need to break up that hard clay, and probably it won't cause runoff as bad because the clay is pretty immovable and it kind of holds the water in. Whereas I think if you have more sandy soil in your field, it might not be as much of a good idea because not only can you lose, when you're tilling, not only can you lose a lot of soil and dust if you're doing it when it's dry, but also sandy soil absorbs the water much more, so that basically it can run off much easier because it's much lighter and can be moved much easier. So it might not be as good of an idea, and it makes it so the soil can't retain the water as much, which with clay that wouldn't be an issue, but with sandy soil, like I said, it's not really gonna do much there for that. And another thing about tillage and no tillage that it actually affects the how much pesticides need to be put on. So when tillage is performed, apparently you don't have to put you don't have to put much pesticides on there because you've already killed the weeds. And some farmers will actually keep tilling even after the crops are growing. They have these special ones that go between the rows and till up the weeds, and some of them take care of the weeds that way. So it is better for you in that they don't spray the crops as much then, because the pesticides then don't get on it. And then we look at the no tillage, and they have to spray a lot more because they didn't take care of the weeds with tillage. So which is better? Well, there really is no cut and dried better. I mean, it's better to till, I guess, because the pesticides are not put on then as much, and it's healthier for us. But then again, if you don't till, it's also better because the pesticides are put on, but it's better for the farmers because they don't have to use as much fuel with their tractors to till. They don't have to do it all year long, and it honestly, it either saves our health or it saves the farmers' work. Although their chemicals do cost money, but it depends how you look at it, honestly. Alternatives to tillage include crops can be grown for several years without any tillage through the use of herbicides to control weeds, but that's what I was talking about, the pesticides. Crop varieties that tolerate packed soil and equipment that can plant seeds or fumigate the soil without really digging it up. This practice is called no-till farming. It reduces costs and environmental change by reducing soil erosion and diesel fuel usage. So yeah, it depends how you look at it. Like I said, if you till, then not as much pesticides are used and it's healthier for us. But if you don't till, it saves the farmers use of diesel fuel. But not only that, it reduces soil erosion, and it also reduces diesel fumes being emitted into the atmosphere. So yeah, it depends. There's different ways of looking at it, honestly. Alright everybody, that's about all I have to say about tillage, but hope this video was informational to you guys. The next video should be in a couple weeks, probably, I'm guessing. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure and comment down below if you enjoyed this video or not. Also turn on notifications for the channel. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.